Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're all doing well, and welcome to the showdown between the Chaos Dwarves and the Demons of Chaos. It's going to be myself with the Sorcerer Prophet facing off against Subutai, who's going to be rocking the Lord of Change, the Blue Fire, coming to hunt my big scary trains. Now, we do have several skirmishers, 2 Iron Demons as well, which I've been playing Chaos Dwarves in tabletop, and Iron Demons are freaking awesome. So I wanted to try them out here. And honestly, against Demons of Chaos, I feel like they're pretty good, and we'll explain why. So up in the front, we do have the Hobgoblins, the Wolf Rider Bows. These guys are awesome because now in new Domination mode, the objectives open up very quickly. So having skirmishing elements, if your faction has them, I think is really big. You can initially grab the objectives and, get a 100 to 200 point lead on your opponent pretty quickly, while also doing damage. Because for the longest time, skirmish cavalry weren't really used in Domination, which was always kind of something I lamented about. I thought it was really fun in Warhammer 2, having that skirmishing phase. And now it's back. Any factions that have it are going to be out skirmishing, and I think it adds a lot of flavor. Now, for the rest of the build, Sorcerer Prophet is just a go-to. He's super good. So he just has Spirit Leech, and Spirit Leech is always good, right? So I didn't know if I wanted to go with like Lure of Fire, Lure of Hashit, but in this case, we're going to be using Spirit Leech on the chicken and anything else that we possibly can. Couple Goblin Laborers in the back, backed up by Infernal Ironsworn. These guys are god tier against the demons because they do fire damage, which is nice at mitigating healing, but more importantly, magic damage with insane melee defense. You can throw one of these guys in a horrible situation. They're being swarmed by several big armor-piercing demons, bloodletters, whatever. They're going to stay and fight and just do the work of Hashit. They do great work. Now, 2 Iron Demons. These things are anti-infantry with shooting as well, and they do magic damage on both. If you pay for the Hellbound ability, which let me go ahead and find that right here. Yes, it's Hellbound. It gives them perfect vigor and also Phys Res, which isn't helpful against demons, but you pay for it because of the magical attacks and the perfect vigor. So yeah, they can do good work running over demonic units, shooting their machine guns. Arguably, the ROR might be better, but we're trying out these ones for now. And that's pretty much it. Very small, very elite army, but that's normal for Dwarfs, both in this game and in tabletop. Now, for Subutai's army, it is all the colors of the rainbow. We have the Nurgle units and the Plague Bears. We got Tzeentch. We do also have Bloodletters. And Slaanesh is in the reserve with Cavalry. So Bloodletters are very good against Dwarfs if they can get on the infantry. Obviously, the Popcorn Bandits can shoot, but they do fire damage. And Dwarfs do have respectable fire damage on a lot of their units, or fire resist. So if the Lord, for example, has 35, the Iron Demons are going to be rocking 15. So definitely a nice tech against the Demons of Chaos. And, Blue Fire is another thing, right? It's fire damage. So we're going to be getting some sort of resistances against a lot of the Tzeentchian sniping. So initially, we do grab objective number 1 up here. We do have the Hobgoblins. They're going to get that one in their clutches. And the other Iron Demons are going to be cruising down here and grabbing this point and getting ready to maybe roll up on the Bloodletters, but my opponent wisely pulls back. Now, if you're wondering why there's no Soul Grinders are completely broken right now. So my buddy and I were playing without Soul Grinders and without land ships and a couple other things during our session. So that's why you're not seeing Soul Grinders of Tzeentch. Although arguably they could be used, but I don't know, like, even, let's say Soul Grinders of Tzeentch were what they were before, like a decent anti-large thing. The trains are not super meta against Demons of Chaos, so they probably wouldn't be expected. And even if there was a Soul Grinder of Tzeentch, it would be pretty much hard countered by a Deathstreak rocket launcher, but in this case, since it's so good against everything, the Soul Grinders wreck infantry, they wreck monsters, they wreck SEs, everything. We decided to play without it, in case you're wondering, so... Here we have the Hobgoblins with the bows, shooting in, doing a little bit of DACA. Nothing too amazing yet, but so far so good. I figured my opponent would have a hard time dealing with the Sorcerer Prophet because every time he casts Blue Fire, it is going to be healing up the Prophet. So now the Pain Train's going to roll up and do some Gatling gun firepower. We try and get a breath attack there on the side, and we do get through the shields, and the blues do start to crumble down, but demonic units did get some leadership buffs. I can't remember if blues were among them, but I know Plague Bears, Demonettes, Bloodletters got some big buffs there. So yeah, a lot harder. Demons of Chaos, honestly, a pretty high-ranking faction right now. They're doing very, very well in tournaments, which is cool to see. But the Pain Trains are on the way in with the Sorcerer Prophet on his Mighty Bull, looking very, very cool. So we're going to be rolling through these little bandits, and you can see the blues getting melted pretty good. The Chariots, of course, do have anti-infantry, so they can do some work there. But now the Demons are going to be collapsing from all sides. We got Plague Toads. We do also have the Hounds of the Flesh Hunt. Is that what it's called, or Blood Hunt? Hounds of the Blood Hunt, Flesh Hunt, it's all in the family, right? But here we do start to crumble the blues, and we do get the Deathstreak shooting off. So the Deathstreak's beautiful shot right there. And it's so cool, like, now that I'm really getting into tabletop and Old World and Warhammer Fantasy, like playing on table, it's so fun seeing the parallels of the units and how they perform in the game compared to tabletop. Definitely enriches the experience. But here are the Iron Demons doing a good job tanking, while the Deathstreaks do some decent DACA. And yeah, they've been able to run over some of the Plague Bears and Bloodletters. While on this side, we do get some back pressure. So the Hounds of the Blood Hunt here, looking to shut down my Deathstreaker. So I call in Hobo Goblins, which will lose head-to-head, but they don't stand alone, right? The Hobo Goblins are going to get fire support from the archers here, and hopefully we'll be able to finish off the Hounds in due time. As far as the objectives go, I do have a little bit of a lead because I grabbed the points, but he does have the double cap on me right now. So we are going to be paying the Troll Soul here. Iron Demons with more power accelerating away. Like Iron Demons and Chaos Dwarf trains are like a fair version of what the land ship should be, you know, like they don't have like insane missile block chance. They're very, very durable and mobile, but you know, they're not quite as oppressive in terms of the damage output either. Deathstreak Rocket right in that stupid chicken's face, and the Exalted Lord of Change is going to be losing his shields there, so trying to switch onto him and soften him up a little bit. Fury's going to be called in. Now Furies in this patch are really insane. They got a big leadership buff and are just a menace to deal with, so thankfully, though, I just happen to be saving for the Hatchet Stark Ravagers, which are one unit on the Chaos Dwarves that could really wreck a Fury because they have bonus versus infantry, right? So I'm like, okay, this worked out well. The Hatchet Stark Ravagers, although he is occupying a 1900 gold unit, right, in the Hatchet Stark Ravagers with a very cheap Fury, which only costs like 500 or so. So they're going to be turning about face and charging. Should be able to save the artillery piece, while the trains, as well as the Infernal Ironsworn, despite being surrounded by just hordes of demons, fighting incredibly well. So they're tanking against these various demonic infantry and fighting hard for Hatchet. Looking really, really cool with their glowing helmets. My Chaos Dwarves in the tabletop are actually, I'm doing a frost theme for them. So they're going to be Frost Chaos Dwarves, which is very, very rare to see for sure. But the whole lore of them is that they're kind of like in the Norscan Waste or up in the Chaos Waste. They're in like this frozen wasteland in Norsca, and they like kind of do their business there. So they've adapted the frozen climate and the magic that it yields, which is fun. So here we do have the Seekers of Slaanesh swarming in. Not a bad choice. Magic damage, AP. They do get in on the Infernal Ironsworn, but they're very squishy. Meanwhile, the Sorcerer Prophet continues to deal with the infantry wherever he can, and the Pain Trains are rolling through the Bloodletters and shooting their machine guns as they go. So in the backfield, we do stabilize Deathstreak Rocket Launcher. Going to be setting its sights once again on the chicken, but its distraction with the Furies did, you know, it took me a long time to get through them. The Hatchet Stark Ravagers and the Bows certainly took a hot minute to deal with them. So now the big boys are going to be on their way up, and Hatchet Stark Ravagers are absolute beast mode units. What's cool is they actually have Revel and Fear, which people don't know about, but they can get up to a massive amount of melee attack and leadership, as well as charge bonus if they're able to waver units, which is hard against Demons of Chaos, but it can't come into play. So we're going to see if that kicks in as this game does progress. So the Pain Train's fighting here. I am triple capped right now, which is tough, but I'm ahead considerably on value, so now we're going to start split pushing here. We do get the Hobgoblin Sneaky Gits to start prison shanking down. I think they're a good call-in for Chaos Dwarves. You know, they have anti-infantry, and against these cheaper units, they can do okay. They have stock and Vanguard deployment, so those are a lot of things that are very valuable in Domination mode. Their ability to sneak up on objectives and surprise your opponent is very, very big. Much like if you're playing like Company of Heroes or, you know, other RTSs that have like a similar objective system, having those stealth units ambushing up on points is pretty good. So here we do have the Iron Demons popping more power whenever they need to get away from something, so they're able to zip away, currently at 75 speed. And the Sorcerer Prophet is just hunting down with his magic damage. Oh, he doesn't do magic? I could have sworn he did. Oh shit, he doesn't. He's literally a sorcerer. You'd think he'd have some sort of a magic weapon. I mean, Chaos Dwarves have ensorcelled weapons, although maybe the Sorcerer Prophet doesn't, but... Here we see a blue fire going down to the Iron Demons, but the machine gun's still doing good work. I would wager they're both at about 800 value. Yeah, we got 900 here, and the other one's going to be rocking 800. And yeah, still doing some work as they roll through those bad boys. The damage is starting to add up, and it seems like the Demons of Chaos are kind of struggling to deal with this SE presence of the Iron Demons. Over here on the side, we still have those freaking Infernal Ironsworn fighting tooth and nail. I mean, Dwarves are very resilient. 1400 value on them. They've already paid for themselves, which is great. We have the Haggard Hobgoblins coming in, but unfortunately Subutai does a great job roasting them. The Hatchet Stark Ravagers able to clear up the Bloodletter unit. Now they're moving on to the Plague Bearers, taking some damage in the process, but let's see if their intensity has gone. So yeah, I guess these demons are just, look at them, they're at like 1200 HP and they're just not wavering. So do they actually have to be fleeing? Because demons can waver too. Although maybe the wavering, okay, 20%. That's really good though, man. They're getting plus 8 melee attack. 8 melee attack is an insane buff. And that should proc again. Let's see how that works. So now they're up to 20%. Okay, that probably procced it right there. On the side point, some of the Bloodletters do kind of stop me from backcapping here, which is unfortunate. Sneaky Git's going to meet their match, and they'll do a little bit of damage, but it's going to be a pretty horrific fight for them. They're going to get massacred by these Bloodletters, but we are up on, not up on the objectives, we're back on the points here. And we do have a pretty considerable value lead. It's 9.1 against 7.4. I have a little bit of healing, so too do the Demons, I believe, through some of their... although, no, they probably don't, actually, yeah, because they've just had Plague Bears, so no healing for them. No big, scary Nurgle Demons. And that's one of the things about Demons of Chaos. They can kind of play like any of the Monogod factions, but like mixing and matching their best elements. It's a really fun roster to play. I think that Demons of Chaos are very dynamic, and really, like, if he wanted to, he could have came in with a Great Unclean one and a Mortis Engine build. He could have come in with a Bloodthirster to hunt my SCs. Like, there's so many different tactics. Granted, Bloodthirsters kind of suck, so you can kind of count on certain things not being used. But yeah, they're really, really fun. So Hatchet Stark Ravagers are wavering, and they actually get terrified, which is unfortunate. Their intensity is still only at 20%. They do get chased back by the Hounds of the Blood Hunt. You get a breath attack with the big Sorcerer Prophet, Hobgoblin Doggies on their way in, and the Iron Demons, of course, being unbreakable, scary demon engines, are able to keep rolling, nice and dirty through the lines, but the middle point is going to be going to us. Meanwhile, in the back, we do see some Furies. They were actually able to break my Deathstreaker, which sucked pretty bad. I called in blunderbusses to shoot them, but the blunderbusses are now getting attacked and are going to be in a bit of a dicey situation. But ultimately, I think they should be able to take on the Chaos Furies. They're still Chorf Warriors to an extent, but a full health Fury unit would have won that fight. I blunderbuss them down to like half health. So to make sure my opponent can't come back here, we do call in the Infernal Ironsworn. So these mighty Chorfs will be sprinting up to Objective 3 with their Dwarven legs at 26 movement speed. Deathstreaker's back online. We do get Objective number 2 here. And at this point, it's basically going to be GG. I mean, we do see some Goblins coming in here, but we'll do some fast forwarding. You guys have seen enough. You know when it's over. I have a pretty, not as big of a value lead as you would think, but a lot of his units crumbled. You have to remember that. That's not reflected in the value meter. But we do get this point here. Objective number 2 is going to go for us, and the Infernal Ironsworn will handle those Frolickers. And the big chicken is on the run. We have a full grip, grasp. I was like mixing those words together on all 3 objectives, and that's going to be it. So really fun. Like, that's not that different than the army I use in tabletop. The double Iron Demons are really fun. I think they were great. And they're a strange unit, but 1,500, they paid for themselves. They cost about 1,500 on the point. Very fair. Continue to do work, and I liked it. Sorcerer Prophet, always amazing. The glue that holds the Chaos Dwarfs together, which is a shame. I think they have some really cool legendary lords. I would love to see CA do like a little update pass on them, but like, I don't know. There's so many things they need to fix that it's a low on the totem pole. Astragoth is good. He's viable. Sorcerer Prophet is for sure the best choice, but Drazhoeth and you know, the other legendary lord, Zaytan, yeah, Zoltor, he's pretty terrible, which is such a shame because they're such cool characters. But yeah, Infernal Ironsworn, cool to see elite infantry doing well. Blunderbusses, Deathstreakers did good. Magmas are also very good against Demons of Chaos. If you want to play a defensive gunline build, you could cut the Iron Demons and open double Magma. But I like the aggression I was able to have, and contesting the points felt good. As far as his build goes, it was good. You know, he had some good elements. I think against a gunline build, which is what he was expecting, this would have been much better. But against the Iron Demons, he didn't really have a good answer for them as far as the build went. You know, maybe a Soul Grinder of Slaanesh wouldn't be a bit terrible idea, like an anti-large fighter to roll up. But, you know, the Siege Grinders would also be good from a distance if you sit them really deep set and just use their javelins against the trains. But yeah, all fun stuff. GG, well played. See you guys around. Hopefully you enjoyed that Chowie action. And that is it for tonight.